Alright guys, real quick before this video starts, the gameplay in the background of this video will be spoiling the final boss of the DLC. I'm sorry, but I've played through like everything else and this was really all I could do. So if you don't want the final boss spoiled, either don't look at the screen or just click off the video entirely. Also, some of the reviews we're going to be taking a look at will mention the final boss. So yeah, without further ado, enjoy. Morning everybody, how are y'all doing today? I'm doing great because I've been sick with allergies for what, like 4 days now, and finally I feel well enough to make a video. You still may be able to hear some congestion, but trust me, I'm like 80% there. And because of my allergies, I had to skip work and I couldn't hang out with friends. It kind of sucked. But luckily, I had the Elden Ring DLC to keep me company. And let me tell you, I just beat it like an hour ago. What a DLC, man. 10 out of 10, incredible. There's really only 3 big issues I can think of off the top of my head. 1, the performance, especially on the final boss, gets absolutely terrible. 2, I'm not even into the lore of the game or anything, but the ending, like the cutscene after you kill the final boss, absolutely sucks, and it's just really unsatisfying. But thankfully you get enough satisfaction just from killing the boss, but still it's unfortunate. And also, I mean, I almost said spoilers, but if you're still here then you don't care about being spoiled. Screw Commander, what's his name, Gaius or whatever. That boss needs to be patched immediately. The lingering hitboxes on his charge attack are the most frustrating thing ever. But besides that, again, absolutely loved it. But not everybody has loved it, and a big reason for that, besides the performance, is the difficulty. People aren't happy that they have to collect Erdtree fragments to level up, so they don't get one shot by everything, which is hilarious to me because it just really shows that so many people thought they were gonna go into this DLC on like their New Game Plus character and just absolutely stomp everything in a couple hours. They did not just stomp everything in a couple hours. So today, since I can't really find much content besides, you know, like a troll video about how bad the DLC is, and a Harmon video, which don't worry, I will be covering that, just not yet, I decided we're gonna shake it up a bit and do a reading negative reviews so you don't have to video. I think it'll be pretty fun and I hope you enjoy it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into these bad Elden Ring DLC reviews. Alright, here we go. First review. Boss fights just don't feel fun in this DLC. Base game had a bit more room for creativity in solving the problem in front of you, but now it's a must to optimize your builds, if not min-max.
Wrong, 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 wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong. You're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong.
I mean, you say the bosses don't feel fun. I disagree, but at the same time, that's just an opinion. I'm not gonna give you crap for that. But I am gonna give you crap for saying that optimization and min-maxing is a must. Obviously, if you want the best chance at killing the boss, then yes, you have to min-max. Which, by the way, in case you don't know what min-maxing is, it just means not putting points into anything you don't need to, and just dumping into everything you do need. It's basically like tunnel visioning a single loadout or build. But yeah, you definitely don't need to do that. For the entire game, I fought regular bosses with hooks and claws, the only exception being Bale, and I used the Dragon Great Katana for him, although I definitely didn't have to. And then for NPC fights, I used the Fingerprint Stone Shield. In fact, I have a really funny clip where Delta was losing his mind watching me bully this NPC. Here, take a look real quick.
That's crazy. Holy shit. Yeah. You're gonna bully the shit out of the AI? Holy shit. Please tell me he's saving this. Please tell me he's saving this. Please tell me he's saving this. I hope you are. Holy shit. You're cyberbullying AI. It's amazing. It's knocking him off his ass. Holy shit. Oh man.
It was absolutely beautiful. But whatever, point is, you can do that. I've seen other videos where people are using like anchors with jump attacks. I've seen people using like a great sword with a lion's claw skill. Min-maxing is definitely the best way to kill bosses, who would have thought, but it's not required, and you definitely don't have to use a certain build. This isn't like Call of Duty where a new gun comes out and then everybody uses it for the next 2 weeks until it gets nerfed. Giant waste of time DLC. The fanboy seed is hilarious though. These are the worst kinds of reviews. Not the ones that say, oh, the fanboy seethe or whatever, but the ones that don't explain anything. Like, this is the equivalent of somebody commenting on one of my videos and just calling me a mean name or something like that. Like, what do I do with this information? Okay, it was a waste of time. How so exactly? Did you fight the lion boss for 4 days straight and never beat it, so you were like, oh, waste of time? Like, at that point, that's just on you. Also, I love how he says Souls fanboys are seething, when even game journalists, you know, the people infamous for sucking at video games, gave this DLC a 95. It is the new highest rated DLC on Metacritic. It's like Critical said, you either die a gamer or live long enough to see yourself become a games journalist. I mean, hell, wasn't even DSP kind of cruising through the DLC? Maybe not cruising, but from what I know, he was actually having a good time, right? If a washed middle-aged man is not having trouble, you definitely shouldn't be. Wait, what's that? You say the gameplay in the background shows me dying to Radon when his health was at his name?
Shut up, man!
Silence. Alright, anyway, next review. I sincerely hope that every day, instead of the gentle morning sun rays, Miyazaki instead wakes up to the holy meteor Radon blasting through the window of his flat, creating an undodgeable AoE attack, which he has to try and dodge or else he gets one-shotted instantly. Alright, that one was actually pretty funny. But the complaint here is about the final boss fight against Radon. And in case you don't know, actually, well, you may have seen it in the footage earlier. Whatever, when his health gets very low, he does this, it's almost like a phase 3 transition, where he does a much more powerful version of the meteor attack from the original fight, but instead he comes in incredibly fast. Like, you actually have to time the roll. You can't just watch when he comes in, because he comes in so fast, if you blink, you'll miss it. And then when he lands, it hits you like 2 or 3 times. Although, contrary to what this person says, it is not undodgeable. I've dodged it plenty of times, and in my winning attempt, I think I dodged it. And if you're not good enough to dodge it, there's plenty of things you can do to lessen the damage. The Halleck Drake Talisman for holy damage resist, Pearl Drake Talisman for more non-physical damage resist, Lord's Divine Fortification for 60% holy damage resist. There's that one tier in the physic that gives you one-shot protection. Like, there's so many ways to counter it without even dodging. This was definitely a skill issue, or a planning issue, whatever you want to call it. And look, I try to avoid saying skill issue because it is kind of cringe and it does get annoying, but that's literally what this was. Like, what do you want me to say? What I will say is, on to the next bad review. The final boss battle is a piece of crap. I never thought this was made by From Software. Well, again, you have to be more specific. What is so bad about it? Because personally, I love it. I've always wanted to fight Radon in his prime, and this feels exactly like that because, well, you are fighting him in his prime, but they did a good job with it. You can just tell this review was made by this guy after he spent like 5 hours straight fighting Radon until like 4 a.m. And then he had enough and just instinctually posted this review. Hey, if it's any consolation, man, I believe in you. I mean, keep in mind, in this footage, I'm fighting the new Game 7 version of Radon, and this was my first time playing through the DLC. And plus, I wouldn't even consider myself like that great at Souls games. You got this. I believe in you. Anyway, that's enough positivity and uplifting. Let's move on to the next bad review. New weapons are really cool. That is true. Shame the bosses you have to fight to get them suck. That is not true. The only boss that I have fought, and I fought most of them by the way, that I would say sucks is, again, Commander Gaius. If they ever fix his stupid charge attack, then he'll be fine. But that attack does so much damage, and it's nearly impossible to dodge. And the worst part is, he opens the fight every single time with it, so you're basically guaranteed to get pinned against the wall. And even worse, he's a remembrance boss. And 5 of the Erdtree fragments are locked behind him. Hopefully he gets patched. But besides him, no, the bosses don't suck. They're awesome. I honestly can't think of a single fight besides Commander Gaius that I didn't like. And in the same way that I didn't like Commander Gaius, I don't like this review, so we're moving on. Bosses kind of stink, though. Again, with these vague reviews. I don't even know how to respond to that, so I'm just gonna play this clip from an Adam Sandler movie that I don't know the name of.
Mr. Madison, what you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
You know what? I've decided. I'm retiring from commentary. I'm just gonna put movie quotes over everything now. Adam Sandler, hit me up on my business email. Let me just use all your movie clips without any consequences. Alright, anyway, next review. Not a fan of the DLC. The scavenger hunt upgrade system is pretty uninspired, and the camera angles in boss fights tend to be pretty weird. Finally, somebody who actually gave constructive criticism instead of just saying, oh, this sucks. Thank you. I'm still gonna criticize your review, however. Now, the problem I have with this review is the fact that this guy says says the scavenger hunt upgrade system is uninspired. It's not a scavenger hunt system though. Yes, you're looking for the Erdtree fragments, but you just discover them naturally as you explore the world. You shouldn't go into the DLC being like, oh, okay, let me just check everywhere for specifically the Erdtree fragments. No, just have fun, explore the world, go to all the different landmarks you see on the map and all that stuff. You'll naturally come across a lot of Erdtree fragments along the way. I think I got to level like 15 without even looking anything up. For context, the max level is 20, so I got most of the way there. Now, if you want to follow the maps you're given, then it can be a scavenger hunt, but I honestly don't recommend doing that. Again, just play the game normally, just explore naturally. I guarantee you'll have a much better time. Anyway, next review. Alright, this is a long one, pause, but I mainly want to focus on that little part at the top, where it says, in my opinion, it is horrendously balanced, even in base game, with Erdtree augmentation, 70 vigor, and a combination of armor, physic tiers, and talismans giving me between 70 to 75% damage mitigation. I'm still getting absolutely demolished by bosses. Now, I would actually like to see this guy's build, because I'm running a similar build. I have the best armor in the game, and I have basically only defense talismans on, and defensive physic buffs. And you can see, I mean, the bosses are doing damage, but it's really only if I get caught in a combo. Also, here's a suggestion. If you're taking too much damage, try dodging the attacks and you won't take damage. Or if you can't do that, then use a shield. You are given every tool in this game you need to succeed and break it with how powerful you become. Also, I'd like to note this guy didn't state what Erdtree level he was, because he says he has Erdtree augmentation, but if you have like 1 or 2, that's not gonna do much. Simply put, dodge the attacks and you don't take damage. Alright, second to last review, here we go. And this is another long one, again, pause. And like the last one, we're gonna focus on a specific section, mainly that second paragraph. I made it to Mesmer and that's when I finally quit. Can't summon a cooperator, it fails. The summon for the NPC is in the arena, and guess what? You'll probably be dead before you can ever reach it. Ditto for Spirit Ashes, you get 1/2 shot as soon as you enter the arena and do a summon. None of the bosses I have fought and beaten were fun at all. Rexasha was nearly as frustrating, but at least doable if you don't mind spamming L2. Not fun. Okay, so I have to ask something. Are you not picking up Erdtree fragments at all? You should not be getting 1 or 2 shot, and neither should your summons. People like this are why Bandai made that tweet reminding people to pick up the Erdtree fragments. They are essential if you want to deal damage and not get 1 shot. But who knows, maybe exploring an open world that's meant to be explored is asking too much. Anyway, here we go, final review. Honestly, this is a good but bad DLC. First off, it is beautiful. Second off, no matter how you're leveled, the first boss always takes 100+ tries with a melee build, unless you're a magic build, which you can just spam and dodge. Reminds me of the first time I played Elden Ring. NG +6, level 275 bleed build. Again, this is a perfect example of the problem. People think that because they're level like 200 or 300, and they're on a high new game, that means they're just gonna go in and clap everything. You have to get the Erdtree fragments. Bleed alone will not save you. Also, no, the first boss does not take you 100+ tries. I watched Queso's playthrough of the game, and he literally beat the boss 3rd try, and he was using a melee build. An incredibly slow one with no bleed, mind you. So, yeah, this is just straight up a skill issue, and you should not expect to get carried by your level 275 character. I mean, I was level 350 and I was having trouble. If that doesn't prove how much the fragments matter, I don't know what does. And yeah, that's basically all I got, at least for now. Who knows, maybe this video does well enough, and if you guys liked it enough, I'll do a part 2. But before I sign off, I actually have a quick proposal for you guys, and I'm also gonna give some tips on the final boss fight, just in case you want some. Some little bonus content for the real ones you've stuck all the way through. So, my proposal is, if we hit 12K subscribers off of this video, I will give away a copy of Shadow of the Erdtree. So if you can make it happen, then in the next video, I'll announce the giveaway. And now, real quickly to close off, some tips for beating the final boss, because he's extremely difficult. Now, these tips are mainly gonna apply to Phase 2, because Phase 1, I mean, you kind of just have to learn that yourself. It's just basic combos and whatnot. But for Phase 2, if you're having trouble avoiding all the beams of light that rain down, when he swipes to the side, dodge backwards or forwards. When he swings forwards, dodge to the side. And if he does one of those combos that's really long, and then he puts his swords in the ground and then rips them up, be sure to dodge towards him when he rips them up, because that just sends out light everywhere. The meteor attack is actually not super hard to avoid. Just run left or right and then jump as soon as they come down. And my last little piece of advice, if you get caught by the sucking attack, where he like draws you in and then slams on the ground and all the spikes come out, just run away and jump once and then keep running. You'll avoid it every single time. And if you want any more advice, then be sure to let me know. So yeah, anyway guys, with that being said, that's gonna do it for this video. video. I hope you enjoyed. I know I did. I'm just really happy to be back making videos again. But now, if you'll excuse me, I got more Elden Ring to play. So yeah, anyway, with all that being said, thank you all so much for watching. Like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't like it, subscribe if you want to see more, and I will catch you all next time.